good morning. Actually, good afternoon, because I actually believe that I'm going to start doing two shows right now because there is just so much information thanks to the Facebook hearings on Capitol Hill. And I'm going to start, and you're going to see me doing something I don't normally do, but I want to make sure that you understand that I actually watched the entire 5-hour testimony of Mark Zuckerberg on Capitol Hill yesterday on a channel I didn't even know existed called C-SPAN 3. I didn't know I had it, but I talked into my remote control and said C-SPAN 3, and C-SPAN 3 came on, and there it was in all its glory. I watched every minute of testimony. I heard every question asked by the senators to Mark Zuckerberg at the hearing. And what surprised me the most is that most of the questions these kind of elderly senators were asking Mark Zuckerberg, I could actually answer as a user of Facebook. I would answer the question before he did, and then he would say the exact same thing I said. It was ridiculous. It was Keystone Cops. But it was frightening. The whole situation with Facebook right now and them having to testify and the government saying we want to regulate Facebook. We want to be involved in the content that appears on Facebook. And that's basically what this is all about. It's not about your privacy. It really isn't. And I'm going to explain that. But I wanted to make it clear that I did not get the topics and the questions and the comments for this show from MSNBC or CNN or Fox News, like they even aired it. I got this directly from the live testimony that I watched for 5 hours. From 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 p.m. at night. Even my poor husband had to sit and watch it while he ate his dinner. And he found it interesting too because my husband, after all, is a web developer. So it was really interesting. And what it was most interesting was the questions the senators didn't ask because they have no comprehension of how Facebook actually works. Okay? So let's get started. I'm going to be wearing my glasses, but I want to make sure that I get to the things that scared me the most. First of all, I already said the senators were asking questions such as, well, Mr. Zuckerberg, if I want to put a picture of my grandchild up, are you going to put something in place that only the people I want to see that picture can see it? Mr. Zuckerberg, we already do that. You already have that option. Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, you know, it's kind of hard, right? I mean, actually, it's not hard, Senator. It's not hard. When you put your picture up on your Facebook page, there's a little button next to the picture. Who do you want to share this with? It's not that hard. You don't have, we got to read 3 hours of your rules. It takes 3 hours to read your licensing and your sharing things. It doesn't take 3 hours. All you got to do is click on the damn button. And you can say, I only want my friends to see this. You can say, I want the public to see it. You can say, you can even customize it. You can say, I really hate my cousin in California. He likes gay people. I don't want him to see a picture of my beautiful grandchild. You can actually write in, I don't want my cousin to see this picture. You can type his name in, and he's not going to see the picture. That's how easy it is. It's a click of a button, a click of your mouse. That's how easy it is to stop somebody you don't want to see your posts from seeing your posts. I know because I have done it successfully many, many, many times. Okay? So now, let's get to the crust of what the government really wants. And let's look at Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was a college student at Harvard, and in his dorm room, he developed a company that became one of the most successful, most financially successful in the entire world. That scares the government, and I'm surprised it took them this long to want to be involved in the content we see on Facebook, but that's exactly what they want to do. and I can prove it. This was an exchange that made, if I had fake teeth, they would have fallen out. This was Ted Cruz. We all know Senator Ted Cruz, right? Staunch Republican, staunch Christian right zealot. Once Planned Parenthood, gone. Once abortion made illegal. Once gays back in their closet. That's who Ted Cruz is. And I will give Ted Cruz credit for one thing. He was so transparent when he questioned Mark Zuckerberg that he explained the entire reason for the hearing just with his questions. Ted Cruz to Mark Zuckerberg. What are the political affiliations of your employees? How many Democrats do you employ, Mr. Zuckerberg? How many Republicans? How many independents? Uh-oh. Well, Mark Zuckerberg's like, well, see, Senator, I can't answer that because, of course, when we hire somebody, it would be illegal to ask them their political affiliation because that's not our business as an employer. Oh, yeah. See, that's what they're talking about. Well, Senator Cruz kept going. Why did you remove a page with Chick-fil-A on it, but how many Planned Parenthood pages have you removed? Really? Well, first of all, let me just say, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, because he is the CEO, he's not like hands-on every day. He wasn't familiar with the Chick-fil-A page that was removed or the promotion, whatever, that was removed for content. But my personal experience with Chick-fil-A and the fact that I did an expose on them with someone who applied for a job with them shows that Chick-fil-A takes, let's just say, employment rules to the nth extreme. Like they will ask an employee that's someone who's applying for a job if they're a Christian. They will ask them what church they go to. They will let the employee before they're hired know that they're closed Sundays so that their employees can go to church. And they refuse to allow their employees to take advantage of the Affirmative Care Act, Affordable Care Act for women, that says that birth control should be provided by all companies who employ female employees, that they should have birth control. Chick-fil-A refuses to do that. They went to the Supreme Court to make sure that anyone who stands behind a counter and takes orders for fried chicken and fries chicken up understands that the employer does not approve of birth control and therefore will not be providing it to the employees, because it's against their religious beliefs. Like frying chicken is something that only a Christian can do. They fry chicken. They don't sell Bibles. I don't know, maybe they do. Oh, by the way, here's your fried chicken dinner and a Bible. God bless you. But that's what Ted Cruz's questioning of Mark Zuckerberg was all about. Have you removed Planned Parenthood pages? And Mark Zuckerberg's like, sir, I don't know every page we've removed. Let me give you a little personal anecdote. I have had the religious right put things on my Facebook page that I find offensive. I have been called a cold-hearted, barren, child-murdering bitch by someone who claims to be a Christian, because I believe in Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court decision that made abortion legal and that gave women the choice of what goes on in their own bodies with their reproductive organs. I have been called horrible things. Now, they consider that freedom of speech. I consider it offensive. Ted Cruz would consider me defending Roe v. Wade offensive. He would want to be standing over Mark Zuckerberg's shoulder when I do a show about abortion rights and about the rights of women to no longer be barefoot and pregnant and birthing their men's kids. Ted Cruz would find me offensive. He would want Mark Zuckerberg, under the guise of Facebook, to censor me, to get rid of me. And he would find the person calling me a barren, cold-hearted, child-murdering bitch, he would give them a 5-star like. even a love heart. This was so transparent. This is what came out to me in the hearings. This is what the government wants to do, especially the Republican right-wing religious zealots. Here's what I think they want to do. I think they want the content. They want to be able to control the content on Facebook to the point where we only see the Christian right views of things. We see the Chick-fil-A ads. We see the anti-abortion ads. We see the Planned Parenthood kills babies ads. They want to be able to stand over Mark Zuckerberg's shoulder and say, we want only the anti-gay pages out. We want gays back in their closets. We want gay marriage repealed. We want the abortion law repealed. That's what we want to see on Facebook. That's what's going to happen if the government starts controlling Facebook. Ted Cruz made that kind of pretty clear when he expected Mark Zuckerberg to be able to give an accounting of the political affiliations of all of his employees. Which, just like it is illegal when you go in for a job interview for your potential employer to ask you your religion, they're also not allowed to ask you who you voted for in the last election. Okay? Unless you're applying for a job at Democratic Committee headquarters and you're a Republican. They might want to know that. So that made me very uncomfortable. One senator said, Mr. Zuckerberg, why is it up to us, the user, to report or block or get rid of offensive comments? Well, I'm going to tell you why. And it kind of coincides with what I just said, because what is offensive to one person is not offensive to somebody else. Just like I said, Ted Cruz would applaud someone who calls me a baby murdering bitch because I support Planned Parenthood. So I find that offensive, but Ted Cruz wouldn't. So Ted Cruz would think it was fine for that to be on my Facebook page. I want it removed. I get to remove it because I control my page. All I have to do is click on the comment, hit remove, and then if I really think it's offensive, like last summer when somebody actually threatened me with physical harm because they didn't agree with my opinion about what the community pool hours should be. They actually threatened me with rape. I'm going to fuck me a cougar. Well, my husband didn't like that very much, by the way, and he knows the person who did it, just so you know. So what I did, now I found that offensive, right? Other people found it hysterical. They thought it was funny. But I did block the person, remove the comment, blocked him, and I did report him to Facebook. And Facebook asked me when I did that, why are you blocking this person? Why are you reporting him? And I said, because his comment was threatening and offensive. And guess what? The guy doesn't post on my pages anymore. Because he's not allowed to. He's not able to. These things work. And yes, it's up to us as the users of Facebook to choose for ourselves what offends us and what doesn't. I offend a lot of people. And I'll tell you, one time, this is why Facebook is fair. One time I got an email from Facebook. Very rare. They said that because I had mentioned yeast infection and vagina in a blog I wrote, that one of my people who read it, supposedly a, quote, friend of mine, reported it to Facebook as offensive language. But Facebook said to me right out, we just wanted to let you know that someone reported you, they didn't tell me who, but that you have not broken any of Facebook's rules, and therefore the post is fine. We're not touching it. So they do listen when someone is reported. They do listen. But at the end of the day, do you want you, yourself, you, to decide what offends you, what should get reported, or do you want the nanny government running Facebook and deciding for you what you see, what you read. One of the senators, this is ridiculous. These senators made asses out of themselves. They really did. They totally screwed themselves. One West Virginia senator actually flirted with Mark a little bit. She asked him a question and she said, "Oh, by the way, Mark, next time you come to West Virginia, could you bring some fiber with you?" My husband and I are looking at each other. Oh, she means fiber optics. Because there's some people in West Virginia that don't get the internet and they can't get on the Facebook and they'd really like to. So why don't you come on down, visit us, and you hook us up so we can all so more of us in West Virginia can get Facebook. Oh, and by the way, I really don't like your privacy rules. 1 minute she's criticizing him and the next minute she's begging him to bring Facebook to more people in her community. I mean, it was Keystone Cops. It was ridiculous. I mean, that was a laughable moment. Completely laughable. I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Oh, here's another good one. And I'm going to end with this, and then we're going to continue this discussion because there's just so much more. I can't even think about it. Mark Zuckerberg made one really good point. When something is deleted on Facebook, and I've had this happen personally, sometimes I will like a page or go to I'll start reading something that a friend of mine shared, and I go to like it, and it's like, oh, sorry, this content is no longer available. The person who shared it has deleted it. And it only just showed up, so that's how quickly things are deleted. Not only didn't I get to read the article in its entirety, but when I went to hit like, it was already gone. So that does work. One senator asked, Mr. Zuckerberg, do you really think that your users trust you and your company with their private information more than they trust the United States government? I looked at my husband, I said, that's got to be a trick question, right? And Mark, God bless him, he did hesitate for 5 seconds. He said, actually, yes. And I raised my hand and I said, yes, I would rather Facebook and their advertisers, who I can choose to ignore, have my private information than the federal government. Definitely. And let me tell you a little bit about what the federal government has the right to do. Many years ago, about maybe 9-10 years ago, someone I know called me and said, my God, Paula, the IRS just took all my money out of my bank account. She had owed them back taxes. But they didn't tell her. They went to her bank without her permission and took all of her money out of her bank account. And it was legit. It was not a spam. They went into the bank, served them with a subpoena, and they raided her bank account. And when she wrote a check for her rent, it bounced. That's how she found out the IRS had taken their money that she owed them. A few years back, I got a letter from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue that we owed them money, and that if we didn't pay it, like now, they were going to garnish our wages, or they were going to send the sheriff in and start selling off our shit. They were going to come into my house and sell my things that I paid for because they said we owed them money. You want to hear insult to injury? It was a mistake. We didn't owe them a bloody cent. But they were threatening me. They were threatening to go into my bank account. They were threatening to come into my house and sell my property to pay a bill I didn't even owe. That's what the government can do. Facebook can't do that. Mark Zuckerberg isn't going to come into your house and sell off your shit to pay a bill. So do you want the federal government running Facebook? Really? Do you want the federal government, although they probably already know it, to see everything you write on Facebook, to go through all your friend lists like they can do when you go on a plane at the airport? They can open your phone and look at all your friends, all their phone numbers, their addresses. And if you have one friend in that phone that's first name is Muhammad, oh, you ain't getting on that plane. They're going to investigate you. Red flags go up. You want to know what the federal government knows about you if you travel? They know what kind of toothpaste you use. They know what kind of lingerie you wear. They know what kind of bathing suit you wear. And they know that you have sex toys in your luggage when you're going on your honeymoon with your new husband. Because they have the right to go through your private things before you get on a plane. They have a right to go through your computer, to open your cell phone. They have the right to do that. And they're sitting here like gods on their thrones asking Mark Zuckerberg how the hell he can allow advertisers to know what kind of chocolate his Facebook users like. And maybe offer them a couple coupons for those chocolates because they buy them. One senator was all freaked out. I ordered chocolate and now I keep getting emails for chocolate. So what? Delete the fucking email. And I have one more question for the end of this show. It's going a little long, but these are really important things we really have to think about as Facebook users and as American citizens. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to keep going. There's so much more to talk about. But let me ask any of those senators. I wish I would have been there. Because I would have said, Senator Cruz, you don't want personal information of your constituents shared. So how do you do robocalls to your constituents? How do you get the phone numbers and emails of people who are registered Republicans when you're running for re-election to beg for money, for campaign contributions? How do you do that? Do those constituents ask for you to call them nonstop? Hey, this is Ted Cruz. I need money. I want to get rid of abortion and put the gay people back in their closets where they belong. Help me. We don't ask to get those calls, but you make them. Where do you get that information from, Mr. Cruz? You get it from Facebook, from people who like Ted Cruz's Facebook page. All of these senators have Facebook pages. They admitted it. They don't know how to use them properly. Obviously, that was very obvious. But they have them. And the reason they have them is because they want to get their messages across to people who vote for them. They want to keep their jobs. So they're going to be allowed to continue to advertise and use your information to send you phone calls and emails and ask for your money to support their campaigns. But Planned Parenthood's going to go away. LGBTQ pages on Facebook are going to go away. That's what's going to happen if these mostly Republican senators who kept talking about that. How many Planned Parenthood pages have you deleted? But you don't let Chick-fil-A advertise, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the reason Chick-fil-A doesn't get to advertise on Facebook is because Chick-fil-A doesn't want to be on Facebook next to a Planned Parenthood page. That would make sense, the way Chick-fil-A acts, that it's Christian right wing or the highway. You got to live by their rules or you can't work for them. You can't earn a living frying chicken unless you're a Bible-thumping, church-going, anti-abortion, anti-gay person. And by the way, don't use birth control because that's just as bad as abortion. No wonder they're not on Facebook. They might be on a page with a Planned Parenthood person. Who, God forbid. Someone might actually write on Chick-fil-A's Facebook page. You know, you guys are weird. Women should be able to use birth control when they fry chicken. Just my opinion. But that seems to be what the pattern was with the Republican senators at least. They were concerned with the fact that they think Facebook is too liberal. There's too many Planned Parenthood sites. There's too many gay rights sites. And they don't like that. And they sort of made it clear for any of you that are in these communities or are concerned about your rights, they made it pretty clear that if they get into one hacker way out there in Menlo, California, and they start deciding what we see and what we can post on Facebook, it's going to start leaning very much to The right. That's my right. This would be your right. That's what they want. These government officials, these senators, they want to control what we see and what we say on Facebook. And it's bad enough that some employers already use Facebook to fire employees. And Mark Zuckerberg isn't selling your information to your employer. Your employer just goes on Facebook, finds your name. That's why some people use fake names on Facebook, because they don't want their employer to see what they do on the weekends. They don't want their employer to see they might be drinking a beer or smoking a cigarette. And if you work for some companies, that would be reason for being fired. Some companies say you're not allowed to drink or smoke on your own time. I believe Sight and Sound Ministries does that. Their employees are not allowed to drink or smoke off the clock. Of course, that should be illegal, but it's not. So they go on people's Facebook pages, and if you talk bad about your workmates, or you say, I had a really bad day at work, God, I hate my job, you can get fired for that. So employers love spying on you on Facebook. Do you think the government, if they take over Facebook, will still allow employers to spy on you? I bet they will. What might actually go away if the government takes over Facebook is this show, shows like mine, shows that criticize the current administration. When I say something negative about Donald Trump, if the government is looking over Facebook's shoulder, they might say, she said something bad about Trump, she can't post that. Is that what we want? Because when I'm listening to these hearings, all 5 hours of them, that's what I was hearing when I was listening between the lines. They want to censor us. And that is a very dangerous thing. I will be back here first thing tomorrow morning with another show on this topic, on a different part of this topic, but something else that's really, really important. We're going to be discussing protecting the children, which of course everybody cares about, right? It's always about the children. The smoking bans are about the children. The no smoking ads on television, it's all about the children. Can't smoke on a boardwalk because children play there. Well, let's talk about Facebook and children tomorrow, and also about ads all over the place, not just on Facebook, but advertising in general, what its purpose is, and how they lie to you constantly, and how you need to open your brain, first of all, grow a brain, and learn how to tell the difference between what's real and what's just ridiculous. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Sorry I went long today, but I hope it was worth your time to watch it. I do appreciate the privilege of being able to speak to you, for now anyway, on this platform. Political Paula, out.